I guess this would be technically episode 19. The last 2 episodes were kind of special edition episodes, but it's us. We are back. Brisco, Big A show in the house.
Yeah, the last 2 was actually kind of crazy. I think they were a lot different than what people are used to because, the first one was kind of like a Q&A, and the second one's like kind of like a Joe Rogan out of nowhere like podcast, which was good because we're trying to mix it up and like do different things and to show that we're diverse and that we're not just, the typical wrestling podcast.
Yeah. And I think they really did show off a great element that we can bring to this wonderful show. And again, because we've always said we don't want to just make it a regular wrestling show. Yeah, look at that Tampa Bay Buckhead. That thing is pretty. Clean. That's right. Yeah, football's upon us. You gonna actually watch football this year? Or?
Only if the Bucks do good, which well, I don't know about that one, but we'll see about that.
I hear ya. I'm a Cowboys guy, so if Zeke doesn't
Cowboys
play,
and you live in Minnesota, oh my God, you're gonna get some hate up in there. How do you do that?
I don't care.
How does that happen? Do you actually wear a Cowboys jersey to like a Minnesota game, or like how does that work? And what do they say? Do people heckle you or no?
I mean, some people, because I went 2 years ago, the Cowboys actually came to Minneapolis and played the Vikings at the new stadium, so I went to it. And yeah, some people were like playful and like, "Oh, you suck, man." And then there were some people that were like taking it a little too far, like "fuck you." And it's like, we're at a football game, bro. Who cares? You know what I mean? Yeah. We get one a show, and then
one a show. So you use it, so I can't use it.
No. We each get one a show. We each get one.
Oh, we each get one. Yeah. I'm gonna save it. I'm saving it.
So, anyways, yeah. So, and then, but the other thing too is when we went to it, the Cowboys ended up winning the game. So I was the one that was able to walk out of the stadium, like, yeah, high fiving all the other Cowboys fans as we're leaving. It was a wonderful moment, actually. It was nice.
Nice. All right. Well, since we've been, let's get off the subject of football because we're about wrestling, and of course, your boy's a wrestler. SummerSlam. I cannot. Man, half of it was good and half of it was bad. What was your opinion and what did you think? I thought it got really the first is like I think they do way too many matches for that pre-show stuff too. Like it doesn't none of those matches like I don't understand. They're just filling time or filling spots. Like why are they doing so many matches for a pre-show? Like it's insane.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's because they got the network, so they can just kind of get away with their own programming, and it gives them the way to get as many people on the show and give them a payday as they can. But I didn't watch it actually pre-show. Well, yeah, whatever they're getting out of the deal, TV time for a minute. I mean, I know the women's tag chance was on the pre-show, which I would have rather had that been on the main show, but I didn't really see. I was coming back from Minneapolis from a first wrestling show, which shout out to those guys because they put on one hell of a show.
I was coming back from Canada. You have no excuses, boy.
I watched it. I just didn't watch the pre-show. But yeah,
I didn't watch it. I just caught the recaps this morning.
But I mean, SummerSlam was good. I thought overall. You know me, man. I hate Goldberg. I don't like him.
I can't believe he was even there. Like he looks horrible, and they like how are they supposed to build these characters? Like they just basically just bury Dolph. Like hopefully Dolph goes to AEW and just says, you know what? I'm not going to use it, but F this guy. Like, come on now. Like, after a while, it comes to a point where it's just like, I love Goldberg, and I'm actually really good friends with him. But to be honest with you, it's just like, when are you going to be like, I mean, I guess unless you need the money, but when are you going to be like, hey, man, like, we're destroying the boys. Like you're not making no stars. So technically you're losing money because you could invest that money properly into Ziggler and have Ziggler squash Goldberg and make a new superstar that's going to last another couple more years instead of squashing someone, like that does not make sense to me.
Yeah, and I apologies to your friend. I didn't know you were friends with him, but I just, it bothered me that that was what happened. It bothered me that they wasted Dolph Ziggler, and he had some good momentum coming in because of the Michaels thing, and which again it should have been him that had the match. That was what the initial setup was, and then out of nowhere Goldberg just got inserted, and then it was awful. It was awful. Like, how can you do anything with Dolph Ziggler now?
Yeah,
Like, he will not be able to be taken serious as a top guy now.
it was heartbreaking, to be honest with you. Like, it was literally like
It was.
I was like, man,
I was so disappointed.
like they could have used anybody to just have, like, it didn't matter who, but just like they don't they I don't know. It's just disappointing because like, I'm good friends with Goldberg. Like, legit, like, me and him are boys. Like, I've hung out with him multiple times, been out to dinner with him. Like, Goldberg's my boy, but like, again, this is me talking as like a wrestling fan and as a not being biased towards either one. I just don't think that they should have had that. I think, if anything, Dolph should have squashed him and made Dolph a huge star. Like, in my eyes, if I was at that age and at that, that big, I'd be like, you know what, guys, why don't we make this guy a star? Why are we wasting money into me and having me squash him when we could build this huge character and have him out of nowhere hit the zigzag and everyone be like, holy shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then that would give people something to talk about, something than us sitting here talking about going, man, that was bad. That was not worth watching. I would have rather just fast forward.
Yeah. Again, I felt it was heartbreaking to see that Dolph had to do that. And then, I mean, you could have at least teased a little bit of a match, I guess. Just the fact that there was like literally 2 super kicks and then just spear and
because Goldberg can't go.
And
He can't go. He can't go.
And yeah,
he can't go.
So yeah, that was the low spot of the show for me. I very much enjoyed Kevin Owens and Shane McMahon. I enjoyed that whole storyline they have going. I enjoyed Becky and Natty and the submission match.
Oh, that was actually a really good match.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, really, that's a good match that every young wrestler should watch. Like, that was a good submission match. I liked that a lot.
Yeah, and I was actually surprisingly happy with Rollins and Lesnar.
Tell me the outcome. I didn't get to see that one.
It was good. I mean, he was really Rollins was really obviously the face, but really hamming up the injuries and that he's got hurt ribs and all this stuff. But it was just one of those things where it's just like, oh, okay, now he's done. Lesnar's gonna win. Oh wow, he kicked out again. Okay, now he's done. Another F5. He's done. Oh no, he kicked out. Oh no, now he's suplexing him. It's over. Oh no, he kicked out, and then eventually won.
Did Rollins get any good offense in or no?
Yeah. And that was the other thing is Goldberg made him look pretty good.
Goldberg, you mean?
Or sorry, Lesnar made him pretty good.
Botchamania.
I still just have Goldberg in my mind. I'm just like, that really did bother me. That's what they did with him and Dolph. But yeah, so I was happy with that main event. And
what about Bray Wyatt and his entrance and Finn Balor? That gives me goosebumps right now. Just thinking about let's give WWE credit and what a great. I mean, I heard Bray Wyatt came up with everything, but congratulations. They knocked it out of the park with that one. Holy moly. Man, they got a superstar right there. I heard right now you can't even buy one of his shirts. Every shirt sold completely out.
Dude, I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, that's and the fact that I was taking this as a new character, like they were going to scrap a lot of that old stuff, but this was a new play on his initial Bray Wyatt character, his face now being the lantern, and the which was just awesome. And the music, the same theme song, but sounded completely different and sounded way more badass.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it was and just like close up when he's finally in the ring. on that mask and just
I heard
badass.
Slipknot was the one that designed the mask.
Yeah, their mask
Well,
designer.
the guy that designed Slipknot's mask. Sorry.
Yeah, he did it for him. I think he does a bunch of horror movies too, like legit horror movies. So he did it for them, and yeah, man, that thing was, and even the exit was great too.
I love how they didn't show him leave or nothing. It was just disappeared. And then what did the crowd say this was awesome. I've never heard the crowd after a squash match, especially squashing someone like Finn Balor, because Finn Balor is such a great superstar and everybody loves Finn. And for him to just get squashed and them not to boo and for them to go, this is awesome, that tells you that WWE is really doing a great job of developing this character and really, well, I mean, Bray Wyatt is the one that's, performing it, letting WWE letting him get the opportunity to have enough time to develop this character really proves that people want to go back to kind of like the old school wrestling where you have the vignettes, you have these stories where you build these characters that are larger than life, because then you get invested into the actual the characters instead of just throwing them into the ring.
Right. Yeah. It's yeah, dude, it was just awesome. I mean, everything about that was awesome. That was probably the highlight of the show from what everybody's been saying. And yeah, it was just, yeah, really cool. I was really happy with it. Now, I didn't watch NXT TakeOver, but I did hear that was another amazing show. I think their main event was Adam Cole and Johnny Gargano.
Like, here's a thing that I don't know if this is true or not, but I heard that they were selling tickets for like $5 to $10, that they were like, the attendance was extremely low, that they were all pretty much giving the tickets away.
Really? For the Toronto show, huh?
For the SummerSlam and Toronto, I heard tickets were like, for NXT was like $5 to $10, and for SummerSlam was like $20.
Well, it's been crazy because WWE has been canceling some more of their SmackDown house shows for lack of ticket sales. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if that's true, but that's just, I was in Canada and I heard from like some of the promoters that I was with, because I was up there for Hannibal TV, working on a couple of shows from there, and you're talking to the new Canadian heavyweight champion for Great North Wrestling, Mr. Wes Brisco.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah, get the belt.
Hold on, guys. Yeah, someone, like I said, we bring the gold back to the States, I bring the Canadian Championship all the way back to the States. Thank you, TV. Thank you, everybody, for giving me the opportunity to win this title. I'm super blessed. I was the first American to win it. Now I'm the second. Oh, yeah, baby.
Heck yeah, USA.
No, I love every country. I love everybody.
No, that's a sick. That was a sick thing that you got to do. That's an awesome belt, man. I'm glad you got that opportunity. So, do you have to go back soon and defend?
Yes. The next date is October. I have to defend it. I do not know who I'm defending it against, though.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Brisco's still going to bring it back.
That's right. Yeah, it is interesting to see these talk of ticket sales, though, man, because there's such a buzz right now because of AEW. And again, not saying that WWE is going to be hurt because of them, but right now they might be, because every new show that they've announced, they're selling it out because it's the first. And it's going to take a little bit for that to wear off, where fans are like, okay, it's just another show. I mean, I'm not going to lie. Even I personally, Raw's coming to St. Paul, an hour and 15 minutes away from me on Monday. Just didn't buy tickets, man. It was one of those things where not that I don't have the money for it, but I don't really need to spend that extra money right now because I have some things coming up. So it's like, I'm just not going to go, and I'm not bummed about it. Where usually I don't miss a WWE show when it comes through Minnesota, if it's in the cities or in Rochester. So, but part of that too is, I just went to this indie show up in Minneapolis, which was amazing. And then, being excited about what's going on with AEW and stuff like that, it was just like, I just don't need to buy a ticket.
And you were just at the Hall of Fame with me. So it's
Hell
like,
yeah.
it's a really worth going to watch that
Right.
when you just had good indie wrestling that you got to experience.
And yeah, and hang out with legends and yourself and just have a great time. So yeah, man, I don't know. I think they'll be fine in the long run, but we'll see. You know what I'm really interested about though, because there's another rumor with AEW out there about the Jericho cruise that I'm going to be back on. And because they go live on TNT in October 2nd is when the premiere episode will be happening. Our cruise is going to be on in January, and we're leaving on a Monday, and we come back on a Thursday or Friday, which means AEW will be on the boat, and all their top stars will be on the boat for that Wednesday night Dynamite edition. So right now, the rumor is that they might actually
have it pre-filmed or have it on the cruise.
Have it on the cruise.
Do it live on the cruise because you got to think of internet service.
And all
other stuff.
And that's what I was saying, but I guess someone was saying like through satellites it might be able to happen. I don't know, because I said that too. You know, I was on the first cruise and the internet was crap, and it wasn't like you were paying.
I don't think that, like, I've been on plenty of cruises and the internet sucks on cruises. Like I mean, you would literally have to bring the whole satellite truck. Like, okay, guys, when you're doing live TV, people don't understand. There's a truck that's like the size of a regular RV, and it's just full of computers, switchboards, and whatever. And they bring that thing everywhere, and that's how they broadcast everything. And usually behind that truck is another trailer with 2 huge satellites.
Right.
So they're broadcasting this stuff all over. There's a control room, and all this stuff is like must be needed for live TV. If they don't have that, then it's just half-assed. So they literally would have to bring that whole control truck and put that on board.
Yeah. So, I mean, that obviously was my thought too. And I'm like, you know, and if they're trying to just rely through internet,
that's not happening.
Good luck. You couldn't even post a picture on social media with their like high top internet.
And if they could, why wouldn't every other company would do it? You know,
right.
That production truck, guys, that I'm talking about, is at every show, every live event, everywhere WWE goes, that truck goes. They don't just do it off of internet. There's actually a control truck, and there's a truck behind it with satellites that's broadcasting it, guys. There's not like they have a full control. Like it almost looks like you're walking in like Star Wars or something. Like it's like a crazy battleship, like a alien, like a UFO. Like it's so insane. Like I don't even understand how they're able to work all these keyboards and switches. I mean, this thing is massive, and like people are not allowed in it. And I was one of the few that actually got let in it because like people don't allow people in the production truck because like you mess one thing up in there while you're doing TV, it's over with, you know?
Right. Well, what I was thinking is because the first day on the cruise, we're sailing to the Bahamas. So then the second day we're in the Bahamas. So what I was thinking is if they're trying to do that, maybe they're going to do the Wednesday night show, but do it Monday night on the first night of the boat, film it. And then the next day in the Bahamas, they can use the Wi-Fi in Bahamas because, you know, they have that there, you know, and send it over so then it can air Wednesday night. If they do that. Otherwise, yeah, maybe they're just not going to do something, or they're going to,
or it's pre-filmed,
or they're going to pre-film something. Yeah. So we'll see, but it'd be cool if they were able to figure out how to do something special for that being on the boat. But yeah, some people also don't realize that it's like, dude, you can't do anything on a boat like that.
No, not even that. Just the production wise of like people don't understand of how much things go into production of actual TV show. To be able to make that happen, there's a lot. And to be able to have a good TV show on a major network, they can't just do a half-ass off of a boat for the first episode because that's going to look like shit.
Right. Well, luckily the first episode's in Washington, so they don't have to worry about that. But like, yeah, it would be interesting. I mean, last year, Evolution, the all women's pay-per-view, which was awesome, and hopefully they do another one. That was on one of the nights of the cruise. So everybody was like, are we going to get to watch this on the boat? And like, everybody was like, the cruise line was just like, no, we can't stream that. Are you crazy? Like, we don't have that capability. So whatever. It's going to be interesting to see if they do anything or film anything special on there for, AEW TV and stuff like that. Cause they're bringing all their big top names on that boat. So, but yeah, it'll be,
well, of course it's Jericho and he's top guy of the company.
Yeah, but that's my worry too, is that this time around it might be more AEW-ish and like maybe playing more up to the AEW stuff, where like last year, dude, it was so chill and relax. You know what I mean? You can walk up to anybody you saw and all this stuff, where I feel like this time it might be just everybody's just in character the whole time when they're on the boat and stuff like that, and you won't get that genuine like fan to star connection that was one of the main reasons people were on these boats and got such great reviews, is because, if you're there, like, Brian Cage was there. We had already had our interview with him. So when he's on the boat, he's obviously someone that people on a boat that you can walk up to and say hello. You know what I mean? Everybody was, even Jericho.
Well, that's the thing. That's something that we're going to have to find out. And that's something that, luckily we have you as, going on the boat and going on the Jericho cruise. So you're going to be able to tell all of our listeners, you're going to be able to tell everybody all about it and the stories. And like, I'm not going to be there because they don't pay me to be there. And if they don't pay me money, I ain't showing up. But Big Ace will be there and he's going to let us know all about it. So I'm, that's a good thing that we have a tag team like this, because, he's going to be able to tell us all the nitty gritty and tell us all of the behind the scenes stuff that's going to happen on the Jericho cruise.
Darn right. I'll be reporting live from there. Well, not live.
Yeah.
But yes, I will. It'll be fun. I'll bring some video and photo stuff back. So it's going to be cool, but I'm excited for that. But yeah, man, it's an interesting fall. So now we got through the interesting thing with the end of SummerSlam is now they're saying too, Brock Lesnar doesn't get that rematch. So does he stick around WWE longer, or is that a way for him to get out now?
I don't know. I think he's going to be sticking around longer because I believe he did not sign the UFC contract. So I believe that he is not with them. And homeboy, you got to have some money. So I don't know. I really don't know. I'm guessing that he's going to still be with WWE. I have a feeling that they're going to build up some crazy thing with him and hopefully Braun Strowman. I would like to see them have a hell of a match, like a cage match or something, build something big up like that. Like that's what I would like to see.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. One other match that we didn't mention that I feel we should, just out of respect, because I thought it was a very, very good match. Charlotte and Trish Stratus's final match. I was taken back by how much Trish was willing to do for that match.
Me too. There was a couple botches in the match, but overall was a good match. But
I don't expect top caliber from her, because she's just been out for so long. She's had one match in the last year.
Does Charlotte look like she's a bodybuilder or what?
The girl is in shape.
Man, she's jacked. I'm scared to have this tank top on. I need to go for holy.
Well, we know you're not taking a shirt off around her.
Gracious.
You want to go work out with me, Wes? Oh, nope. Don't need that. Yeah, no, she's looking great, man. And she was killing it.
I think I can hang. So,
I can't. There's no secret in that. But yeah, no, I thought it was good though. I thought it was a nice little thing.
Me too. And I can't believe Trish actually did it. And then what about the surprise of Edge coming out? That was even sicker. Like to have Edge come out and do the spear.
Yeah, that was the surprise.
Like, oh my goodness. That blew my mind. I was like, because I'm always been a big Edge fan. And like he's always been a good friend of us. And then of course Beth Phoenix is his wife and we're good friends with them. So it's like a mutual, just like to see him and get that pop of his hometown of Toronto and him do the spear. Like that was it was awesome.
It was, and no one, I mean, when he came to the ring, it's like, oh man, it's Edge, yes. But when he actually did the spear, that's when people were like, because because it's just so
Well, they thought
heavily.
he was just gonna go out and do like some promo and then like back down or something. But then when he like fired up and gave that spear and everybody looked around, it was just it was crazy. It was good stuff. Good.
Yeah, it was very cool. And another cool return that happened, but it didn't happen at SummerSlam, happened the next night. But Sasha Banks is finally back on WWE TV.
What's your thoughts? See, I didn't get to see Monday night, dude. I was so jet lagged that I've been like kind of like on a different schedule. So I was like passed out. So
Sure.
I did not get to see Raw. But how did you feel like what did you feel like her overall appearance? Like as you can tell, like EC3, his entrance has been getting lamer and lamer because I think he's getting like frustrated and frustrated and frustrated. Did his interest like seem like I don't know, like what did you think?
Well, I don't know what exactly with the EC3 stuff because I didn't see him on Raw, but I missed the first
But
hour.
you know what I'm talking about? How like he's kind of like was like super exciting and
Yeah.
Was Sasha? Did Sasha come out the same way, or did Sasha like come out as the normal?
Natalia was in ring with her arm in a sling, doing her little like, I don't know, some sort of speech, and then all of a sudden Sasha Banks' music hits. She comes to the ring. They have a nice little moment. They hug it out, and then Sasha like destroyed Natalia. And she came out with her purple hair, but then after she punches Natalia, she then pulls off the purple hair because it was a wig, and her hair is now blue. And so she beats up on Natalia a little bit. Becky Lynch finally makes that run in to save Natalia, and then she destroyed Becky Lynch. And like gave her like 6 or 7, no, maybe not. Maybe it was like 5 chair shots to her back, but quite a few chair shots outside the ring. I think this is I think they're gonna play off of everything that was be going on social media. She obviously wasn't happy with how things ended with them and that tag titles in Mania.
Yeah.
Whether they were really throwing fits and stuff like people were reporting, who knows? Who cares really? But I mean, she's got every right to be not happy.
Because they always eat that little clickbait up,
right?
But, like really, it doesn't really matter.
And so, I think they maybe were able to figure it out how to use this. And I think Sasha was always a great heel. She's always been a great heel.
I love Sasha. I think she's a great heel, great babyface. I think she's a great worker. She cuts great promos. I believe in everything she says. I enjoy watching her work. I enjoy listening to her talk. She's a beautiful, intelligent young woman. Like she has everything that a WWE superstar has.
Yeah, she really is. And she can move in the ring. Awesome. So I'm glad that she's back. It really now kills the speculation of her in AEW that everybody was like claiming that was going to happen.
Yeah.
Good for her though. She's back. Hopefully that means, we'll get to see a lot more of her and they'll do some. I mean, I'm already jacked up for her and Becky to have a feud because I think those two are going to work awesome together.
Me too. I kind of wish they would have like held it back a little bit and like maybe had her like kind of like squash a girl or two and then build up to Becky and then just to let it run a little bit and then have like a couple of teases of like Becky, like her like just punishing a girl and then Becky coming out for the save and then all of a sudden like there's just like this intense moment of kind of just stall it out a little bit, like let it breathe a little bit. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, I agree, but I also would have been jacked up if she would have came back at SummerSlam.
Yeah,
like that would have been a cool little run-in at the end of that match because they had their little moment, Becky and Natty, where they hugged it out at the end. Like if she would have came out then, that would have been
destroyed both of them,
right? So. But yeah, it's still cool to see that she's back. So that ends that, again, rumor that she's going to AEW. But something interesting that on the first AEW TV taping, it's going to be the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega versus Chris Jericho and a tag team that he hasn't announced yet, but says he's bringing over. Do you think that they'll pull like a decent tag team name that's no longer with WWE? To kind of, shots fired on that very first episode? Like, do you think he's bringing an outside team that's not already affiliated with AEW, or do you think they just end up being like, here? That's just it. I don't know.
The question is, like, really, there has been no tag team that they have released that has been any buzz. I mean, who?
Revival would be the only one that I can think of, but I don't know.
Are they released?
No, but I thought I heard their contracts might be ending, but then I also thought I heard they may be resigned too. So,
well, if that's the case, then it's going to be the Revival, guaranteed 100%. But if they resign, then honestly, I don't know. I'm guessing that maybe they've already worked out with the Revival and already offered them more money that WWE was going to offer them, and they said okay. But then again, there also is that non-compete. So how are they going to be able to just not do their contract, yet they still have 3 months that they're not allowed to work? Because a lot of people don't know, when you work for WWE, you sign a non-compete. So when you get released, the only way you get out of that agreement is that you retire. So no matter what, that they cannot be on any TV unless WWE gives them permission for 3 months, because they're still paid by WWE during that time.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I'm just curious if they're going to try to make a move, though, to bring someone in that's not already signed.
You know, like I said, they have that non-compete. And you think WWE is just going to you think Vince is just going to sit there and be like, oh, sure, go work AEW, guys. See you guys later. I don't think so. What I'm thinking is, like, they're going to have to bring someone different, because unless the Revival get released in 3 months before that show, you're not going to see Revival, because they're going to get sued.
Right. Yeah. 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 For sure. But yeah, so it'll be interesting to see who his partners end up becoming to be. And again, it'll be interesting to see if it's a new signee for them or if it's someone that's already on the roster and they just aren't saying who it is yet. Yeah. So that'll be fun to watch. They're gonna have a lot of cool, exciting moments. But then they also just announced a bunch of the names that are going to be at SmackDown on their debut on Fox. And I think it's like Flair, Hogan, Edge, Michaels, maybe Austin, I think, is going to be there. I mean, just a list of legends that are in Hall of Famers that are going to be there. I think Trish Stratus. Is he?
Yeah.
Nice. So, I mean, that's going to be really cool to see. And now there's also talk that they might throw NXT on FSN or Fox Sports Plus. Sorry.
That'd be nice.
Yeah. Which would then be the direct competition show for the new AEW show on Wednesdays. Yeah. And they're talking about making it another hour long.
Wonder if they're going to pay the guys more.
Right. Yeah.
See, that's a big thing. It's like, what are the boys thinking? Like, are they going to get paid more now since they're on, like, because, like, I know the NXT people have a different deal than the main roster guys do, like with hotels and travel. So how does that work out? That's going to be interesting to see how WWE does. And I'll be able to tell you all that stuff as soon as I figure it out. As soon as I talk to some of my boys, I'm sure they'll tell me. But we'll find out the nitty gritty, because I like to know, like, behind the scenes of, like, you know, because they all travel different from different, like, when you're in developmental to when you're on the main roster to when you're a crazy superstar. So I would like to see now, since they're on network TV, what's going to change their pay rate, how they're going to travel. Are they going to have to pay for their hotels? Like, what's going to happen? And are they going to start a smaller brand to be able to have another developmental smaller brand that's still on TV? So there might be another brand coming out.
Yeah. Yeah, let me ask you this then. When you were on the road for TNA Impact and you guys were running on, I believe, Spike, right?
Yep.
So, like, how was that for you as far as, like, I mean, were you responsible for your own travel and all that kind of stuff?
Well, like, yeah, we were, but luckily, like, I got blessed, and, like, I became good friends with Austin Aries and Devon and of course, you know, Mike Knox and Luke Gallows, and they kind of took me under their wing. Like, Austin Aries would literally let me stay in his room for free, and, like, wouldn't let me pay for anything. And I would try, and same with Devon. Devon would pick me up in a rent-a-car, drive me everywhere, take me, let me stay in his hotel room. And I would try to pay for breakfast, and he would already have breakfast paid for. Like they kind of took care of me being the young kid, being the, like not really like knowing too much and being thrown on the road. And at the time, we weren't at the impact zone. Like we were only at the impact zone for a while. So we went live on the road. And this is like my first time being on the road. And I didn't didn't really know that crew of people. And, luckily I had some, became good friends with a lot of the dudes. And, I remember one night, like me and Devon had to switch hotels like 3 times because like, the rooms were just the grossest rooms you could possibly think of. Oh, I remember that night. Devon literally looked at me. He goes, "Brother, I'd rather sleep in the car." And I looked at him. I said, "Brother, let's sleep in the car." Like it was that gross. And you're in this town where there's no hotels, no nothing except for that one. And you walk in there and you don't want to sleep in there. You'd rather sleep in the car, or you rather get a 24 pack and stay up all night and drink some beer until your flight in the morning, which I think we went with the 24 pack. And me and Devon pulled the rent-a-car right up to the rent-a-car place, sat there, popped the trunk, and I can never forget this story. We literally sat right in front of the rent-a-car place, rent-a-car parked, guys, no keys in the ignition, popped the trunk, and sat there and drank a 24-pack, just me and him waiting for our flight. What a great night. What some crazy stories. What a, just like a cool time and a cool experience. Like, not like going to a hotel room and it's just the nastiest hotel room, trying to go to another one and it's infested with bugs. And you're just like, finally you're just like, what do we do? And he's just like, you know what? Get a 24 pack. We'll park the car at the airport and we'll just sit there and we'll drink. And that's what we did.
That's awesome. That is so cool. Yeah. And actually, I ran into some of your friends this past weekend and was supposed to relay hellos to you from both your friends.
Who did you run into?
Gangrel and Joey Ryan both.
Oh, no way. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Dude, I love Joey Ryan. Joey Ryan's my boy, and Gangrel, I mean, that's my big brother right there.
Yeah, man. Very cool. Yeah. Both of them spoke so nicely of you. And, I reminded Gangrel of, hey, I don't know if you remember, but I actually did meet you once in Cocoa Beach at the show. The anniversary show. I was there with.
And we did a live. I believe we did a video vlog for that one.
We did. Check it out on our YouTube channel. Which, if you're watching this, subscribe. But yeah, and you can watch that vlog video, and you'll even see Gangrel. We got a sick shot of his awesome truck with the school on it when we pulled up. Yeah, it was sick. Good. But yeah, he was super cool too. He was just like, he brought me in and hugged me. He's like, what's up, brother? So Wes has some very cool friends. So
yeah, and then of course, me and Joey Ryan have a ton of matches together, and I respect that guy. I've even went to bat for him a couple of times when people were dogging him about the penis stuff, and I was like, dude, what about Rakishi's stink face?
Mm-hmm.
People forgot about that. That was kind of wrong. That was, you know what I mean? It's just taking it up a little bit. I've always respected Joey Ryan, and he's one of my boys, and we've had some great matches. And you know what? I think he's gonna be someone I'm going to reach out to, and I think he should be one of our guests on the show. If you guys want to see Joey Ryan on the Brisco and Big A's show, please hit the subscribe button, leave a comment, say, yes, we want Joey Ryan on the Brisco and Big A's show, and I'll see what I can do.
Yeah, that would be awesome. What was cool, though, is he was a surprise surprise guy on the show that night. He wasn't actually advertised. It was supposed to be the women's NWA champion. I cannot remember her name off the top of my head. Had travel issues, couldn't make it. So it was him and Penelope Ford, who she's signed with AEW right now. She did a lot of stuff with Joey Janela. Yeah, blonde, good looking girl, can work pretty well. But yeah, so they did a match, which I've seen them do that before on the YouTubes and stuff. But this is the first time I've seen Joey Ryan live. The YouTubes, but I've never seen Joey in person, so that was the first for me. So, and that place went
multiple times. I've wrestled Joey Ryan 6 times.
Nice, Jesus.
Never touched his penis once.
Boo! I want to see that happen.
Boo.
You guys got to see you become a victim of the dong.
Negative. I actually beat Joey Ryan for the Paragon Heavyweight Championship
Oh, wow.
on TV.
That's right. Paragon.
Yeah.
I forgot about that place. Yeah, that was a cool stuff. You also had some cool matches with Austin Aries on that show, didn't you?
No, that was with Ring Warriors. And
Oh, yeah.
tapped out Austin Aries in Ring Warriors.
That's right. And I
I'll
believe
never
that.
that I was on.
And I believe that is on our YouTube channel as well. You can watch him and Austin Aries.
Yes, you
check
can.
that out.
Check that out.
Yeah, man. So that was cool, man. It was a huge markout moment. Like people were losing their minds because it's also funny when Joey comes to the ring and it's the two Pina Colada song.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when that hit, like people were just
instant pop.
Oh yeah, dude. It was awesome. And it was cool. I love everything he does, the character, the gimmick, all that. And he was super cool. Again, super nice. Just told him that you were my buddy and that we do a show together and introduced myself. And he was just like, I love Wes. So yeah, it was cool, man. It was a really cool, fun show. I want to hear a little bit about you did something this weekend though in Canada that I don't think you've really done much before. And that is you kind of did a comedy show.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was something different and something new. It was pretty fun. I actually enjoyed it and got a really good response from the crowd. And you guys can check it out on HannibalTV.com. But yeah, it was really good. We got a good response. It was fun just telling road stories and just kind of having fun up there and trying to be entertaining and just, like telling stories. And I can't tell you too much because I want you guys to actually see yourself. But you can definitely check it out on Hannibal TV. So if you want to check out what I did at the comedy thing, check out HannibalTV.com and you can see all that.
Yeah, for sure. And we'll get that link out on our social media and stuff so everybody can check it out. Now, let me ask you, is that something you think you can see yourself doing more of?
I would enjoy it. If guys want to book me for it, I'd be more than happy to because I always enjoy sitting up there and telling road stories. And I like to be entertaining and I like to tell stories. And I enjoy interacting with the fans and hearing their questions and being able to actually do kind of like a Q&A, but kind of make it funny and like not so serious. And, of course, me, I'm like always like full of energy and laughing and goofing around. So it's always a good time.
Right. Yeah. So that's cool. I'm excited to watch that. But I also saw a comedy show this weekend too while you were up in Canada. But mine was a little bit different. I saw Jake the Snake Roberts do his comedy show this last weekend.
Nice.
I actually ran the sound for it and everything. So
ran the sound.
Yeah, I was the sound guy. It was
check what?
Right, basically just one microphone with him to be like, "What do you think, Jake?" Yeah, it's fucking fine.
Yeah.
All right, great.
That's two.
Oh, that is two.
No.
Does it? But does it count if it's a? Does it count if?
You keep a mark up there. That was two.
But does it count when it?
There was probably like 100 of them. So, oh my God.
But does it count if it's a direct quote? Because that's exactly what he said. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
Check Who knows?
Rules and bystanders of our contract and agreement that we have written up by our lawyers.
I know. Yeah, I got to follow our law. But yeah, no. So that was interesting to see. It's different too because it's not him up there just doing jokes and bits. Like he basically just tells stories of his time on the road and everything. And yeah, it was awesome. And he was a nice guy. I enjoyed getting to meet him. Shared a cigarette with him. And got to hear him kind of rant a little bit.
Oh, nasty.
Yeah, they are gross. But anyways.
Everyone should give the thumbs down for Big A smoke.
No, don't say that because then they're going to actually give you a thumbs down on this shit. And we don't need that.
Oh, yeah, we don't need to actually give a thumbs up.
There, just tweet us. It's right on the screen.
No, here's what we want. Give a thumbs up if you want Big Ace to quit smoking cigarettes.
There you go. Let's do that. Or just tweet the Brisco and Big Ace and I'll quit.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
we'll get him a Nicorette gum.
There you go. Ew, gross. I'll just stop. Like I don't need the gum. I can just stop. It's easy.
You need the gum.
They're too expensive anyways. At least up here they are. They're cheaper down by you, man. I'll tell you what.
Mail to you secretly. No. Well, I shouldn't say that because now we're breaking the law.
Right. Here, that's going to be recorded now.
Yeah.
Now we're going to be watched. Thanks. Oh, that's awesome. But yeah, it would be interesting to, when we did our live show in Waterloo, which again was an amazing show, thank you to everybody that was there and attended.
Yeah.
You know, I actually met a guy. Check this out. I met a guy Sunday in Minneapolis at that first wrestling show who was actually at Waterloo. He's actually friends with a friend of mine. And at the end of the show, he had introduced me to him, and I didn't recognize him really. But I'm also just got horrible memory. But then he was just like, "Oh yeah, I was in Waterloo," and I was like, "Oh, you're at the Hall of Fame?" He's like, "Yeah," and I was like, "That's so cool." I was like, "Did you?" He was like, "I was at your show."
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, all right, perfect, man." I was like, "I appreciate it." He's like, "It was awesome. Well, it was so cool."
To be honest with you guys, there was only standing room only available for our show. Like literally, we sold out our little place. I mean, you could only stand there was no more seats available.
Right. And what I was getting at with that though, I mean, that was just a cool moment I wanted to share with you. But what I was getting at is that thing was a very special show for us because again, that was kind of our like 1 year anniversary as a show. But the other thing is, as awesome as that show was, that isn't going to be a fair representation of us if we actually do a real live show that we have really gotten prepared for. Because to be honest, we had a lot of really good ideas for that show, but due to just how things went down, we just kind of threw it together at the last second, which you and I were both stressing over the weekend.
You guys had no idea. Like Big Ace had to like literally calm me down. I was so stressed out. I literally had to lay on the ground. Like, you guys don't understand. Like, I'm very passionate of the stuff that I do, and I want to put on the best show that we can possibly do. And stuff started failing, and I like was worried that I wasn't be able to give you guys the best quality show that we can. And like, well, that's the whole thing. Like, I wasn't stressed because of anything else. I was stressed that you guys weren't going to get the proper show that you guys, our fans, deserve, our followers, our subscribers.
Right. And, at the end, we were able to make that good and work. But the problem is when you have so many guests like that and you have a limited time, you can't really do everything you wanted to do. So one of the
what we wanted, but that was we made it work because we our goal was to have just a couple guests and do more kind of personal stuff and more funny stuff, but we really didn't get able to do it just because of the panel and all the crazy superstars we had on the show that we really couldn't. And the time we only were given, I think, an hour, or I think we're only given 45 minutes. Or I think an hour. I think we went over because I was like, Troy, pow, pow, pow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you want to give your guests their fair time on that show. So that and that's where I'm getting at is that in a normal live show, when we do our next one, there will be banter. There will be an actual segment where it's just you and I on the stage starting the show before we bring out our guest and stuff like that, which will then have that more comedy feel like you did this past weekend. And I was thinking that while I was watching this Jake the Snake show, because they were doing Q&As. It was at this convention in town. And I was just imagining, like, I can't wait till we have a chance to do it again and really get the chance to do it how we envision it, because it's going to be an amazing show.
We'll blow all these shows out of the water. If they just give us a chance in a venue and line it up, guys, I guarantee you we'll blow it out of the water, and it will be something to remember.
Yeah. So I look forward to us getting to do that, where we could be on stage together and actually banter for a little bit and not have to dive right into the interviews and then run it through the whole show, actually have some segments in there. But man, I can't wait to watch that video and see you up there on stage just telling stories. It seems to be a natural thing for people in the wrestling field to go on and do, especially the ones who are good on a microphone.
Yeah, the ones that can talk good, and like I enjoy speaking and interacting with the crowd, and it's just something that I just enjoy. Like I always want to make people happy. I want to put smiles on people's faces. I like entertaining. I like, I like some people say you're a scary guy, you look mean, and until you actually get to talk to me. And then when you talk to me, you realize, man, he's actually a pretty nice and intelligent young man.
Right. Yes. Plus, you don't know scary until you're on an 8th floor of a hotel and there's a orgy. That's scary. So Yeah, man. Well, shoot, dude. I don't know if there's really much anything else that we need to cover other than what else you got going on coming up. Is there any dates that you need to push here that we need to get people at?
Man, I got Atomic Wrestling coming up sometime in the next week or two.
Perfect.
Other than
Perfect.
that, just hit the like, subscribe button. Make sure you follow us. Make sure you follow us on all our social medias: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Please, YouTube. Hit the subscribe, like button on YouTube. Please help us get our YouTube up. We're trying to get this YouTube channel going up good so we can give you guys good quality. And let us know. Comment below if you guys want Joey Ryan on the Brisco Big A Show.
Darn right. And that will conclude another episode of the Brisco and Big A Show. We thank you all for joining us and downloading and watching on the YouTubes. And again, like you said, please subscribe so we can build this into an amazing thing with all you great fans. So,
and hopefully, if you're listening to us just on iTunes, Spotify, and any other things, hopefully we're making your drive, your commute, or wherever you're listening to just a little bit better. Hopefully we can make you smile, make you laugh, when you're stuck in traffic or you're on that flight and you download our episodes. As long as we put a smile on your face when you listen to us, that's all that matters.
Hell yeah. And we'll be back with episode 20 next week. Look at that. You didn't even use your one, so my two are okay.
Yep. Fuck.
I did it. All right. We'll see you next week.
All right. See ya.